Dacian could not have foreseen. And comic fans are not happy. Though, saying that comic fans aren't happy is a lot like saying that ISIS is pretty crazy today. It's kind of their default state of being. I'm specifically referring to this picture. No, it's not mediocre rapper and cocaine aficionado Stitches. This is a picture of Jared Leto's Joker from the upcoming Suicide Squad movie. The new Joker for the Warner Bros. DC Cinematic Universe. Sort of. Turns out that... no. The Joker probably won't be covered in tattoos of images taken directly from the comics. He'll likely look a lot like he always has. But this whole... thing has shown us a few things about ourselves. Things that we kinda already knew, but bear repeating. People hate change. And it might not even be the change itself, just the idea that at some point in the future, things might not be the same as what we're used to. It's like I said, we each have our individual idea of what version of the character was the best, and we latch onto it, and we hate it when we're given something different. The Joker is no exception. He's gone through just as many changes as any other character in comics. What started as a horrifying serial killer based on a figure from the silent film era would become a puckish trickster just looking for a good time, and then a performance criminal more interested in the artistry of the crime than anything he could possibly have to gain from it, to an unpredictable psychopath who thinks torture and murder are funny and can walk into any establishment and murder everyone present with no effort, almost by magic. Seriously, read Death of the Family. He kills a cartoonishly huge number of people. The Joker is an intensely popular character. I would say even more so than Batman. So when fans get set on this particular image of him, the fandom at large gets super clingy. Even when presented with something they'd like as much, if not more. I mean, just look at all the things people said about Heath Ledger when he was announced for The Dark Knight. Sure, The Dark Knight's Joker turned out to be little more than generic action villain C, but despite the initial backlash, Heath Ledger's Joker is far more ingrained in the public consciousness than Mark Hamill's could ever hope to be. Just look to YouTube and you'll see scores of unemployed virgins plastering themselves in white grease paint and rambling on into their $20 webcams about, I don't know, anarchy or whatever the hell they think that movie was about. As for myself, if we're being honest, I kinda like the picture. It was the first thing I saw that actually raised any interest in this Suicide Squad movie. And then I saw this! I haven't felt this much uninhibited joy from an image since Howard the Duck showed up at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. We can talk about that, right? I mean, it's been like a year. But like I was saying, I was pretty excited about this new iteration of the Joker. Over the years, the character has just become sorta oversaturated to the point where I can't really be bothered to care about him anymore. And this seemed like just the thing DC needed to shake it up and make the character interesting again. Not that the tattoos themselves make someone inherently more interesting, but if that's something they're changing, what else is going to be different? As I've stated in the past, I am a huge fan of Elseworlds tales and looking at old characters in a new way, because even if it doesn't work, at least they cared enough to try something new, as opposed to just churning out the same thing every year because they know people will still pay for it. As I was writing this video, a few more images from the Suicide Squad were released, each met with similar derision, particularly for the way that Harley Quinn is presented. Now, Harley has gone through this same process of evolution I described, but unlike the others where it occurred over decades to reflect changing sensibilities, Harley's was more sudden and unexpected. People like her original design and personality a lot. To them, the new 52 Harley feels like a cynical attempt to give DC their own version of Deadpool, but with boobs. And her revealing costume and more sexually explicit attitude makes it seem like DC is trying to appeal even more to the hormonal teenage boy demographic at the expense of alienating female readers. So, needless to say, there's a lot of people who aren't exactly thrilled that the movie seems to feature the New 52 version. Myself, while I do prefer classic Harley, I can't really make judgment calls like this so far in advance. But just based on the promo images, I'm pretty hyped, you guys. I kinda wanna see what they're gonna do with it. I've always been a fan of the Suicide Squad comics, and pre-Flashpoint's Deadshot and Amanda Waller are two of my favorite characters. Sure, the guys in the movie are probably not gonna be at all like that, but like I said, I don't really care. And if this is anything like the animated Assault on Arkham movie, I am all about it. There's this sense of entitlement endemic to nerd fandoms, where we get everything we ever wanted, but we still kick and scream and cry because it wasn't done exactly the way we envisioned it when we were kids.